Joffrey celebrates his name day. He calls for the death of a random guy, but Sansa convinces him not to kill him. Sansa calls her father and family traitors, and we start to question where her loyalty resides. Tyrion becomes Hand of the King, and Cersei is pissed. He finds out that Arya Stark has escaped and calls her the disappointing child. Stannis' advisor, Melisandre, burns statues of the gods, and Crescent is outraged and worried that Melisandre will lead Stannis into a losing battle. Robb Stark finds out that Jaime was the one who crippled his brother Bran and killed his father Ned Stark. Robb brings up that Joffrey is really Jaime's bastard son, not the rightful heir. Stannis Baratheon, the oldest brother of the late Baratheon king, really is. Tyrion is falling madly in love with his mistress. Cersei and Baelish get into a scuffle. She commands he find Arya. He hints about knowing about her and Jaime's love affair, bragging that knowledge is power. To scare him, she orders her guards kill Baelish and then stops them, telling him that power is power. Robb sends his terms to the Lannisters. They are that Joffrey should renounce any claim to the north. If they reject the terms, he'll go to war. Joffrey redecorates the throne. Cersei slaps him when he asks about how many bastards her late husband had. He tells her that her slap is punishable by death and that she'll never do it again. Arya is almost caught by Lannister soldiers, but they leave when Yoren threatens them. Varys discovers Tyrion's secret that Shae is living with him. He threatens Tyrion with his newfound knowledge, but Tyrion tells him to never threaten him again. Cersei refuses Robb Stark's terms. Mormont discovers Rocaro's head on a galloping horse. Daenerys vows to get revenge. Tyrion banishes the man who ordered the killing of Ned Stark, so we start to see Tyrion's good side. Theon meets his father Balon. His father messes with his head, saying that he's been enslaved to his friend Robb Stark and they made him weak. Yara, who he slept with and just found out is his sister, will lead an attack against Robb Stark. Melisandre seduces Stannis and they have sex. Lady Stark meets with Renly Baratheon, brother of Stannis, to negotiate, and he says he'll bring Joffrey's head. Balon reveals plans for Yara to lead an attack against Robb Stark. Theon is lured in and wants to lead the attack. We discover Renly is gay as he sleeps with Loras, his wife's brother. His wife Marjorie shows up topless, admitting that she knows, but doesn't care as long as she becomes queen one day. Right after Arya frees Jaqen, she's caught, but they don't realize who she is. Robb Stark falls in love with Talisa. To test Sansa's loyalty, Joffrey has Sansa beaten and undressed right before Tyrion shows up to save her. Tyrion sends 2 prostitutes to Joffrey to lighten him up, but we find out that Joffrey is kind of crazy when he has one of them beat the other with a stick as he aims his crossbow at the other. Peter meets with Lady Stark and offers that Robb trade in Jaime in exchange for her 2 daughters. She refuses. We also find out that Peter loves Lady Stark. The 2 brothers Renly and Stannis meet to negotiate, but none of them want to back down. They both want to become king and will fight for the throne. Daenerys seeks refuge in the city of Qarth. She's almost denied entrance until Zaro vouches for her. Lord Tywin meets Arya without realizing it's her. She becomes his servant. Melisandre gives birth to a black demon in a cave in front of Davos. Melisandre's black demon sneaks into the tent and kills Renly quickly. Marjorie and Loras assume Stannis killed Renly. Cersei and Tyrion learn about the death of Renly and worry about Stannis' attack. Tyrion tries to get them to prepare, but Cersei tells him nothing. Theon is trying to gain control of his men who are laughing at him. He realizes he has to prove himself. Jaqen offers Arya 3 wishes for saving him. Tyrion discovers that Cersei and Joffrey have been collecting wildfire for the attack on King's Landing. Brienne vows to protect and serve Lady Stark. Bran keeps dreaming of something bad happening, but no one listens to him. Zara offers Daenerys enough gold to buy ships to attack King's Landing if she marries him. Jorah Mormont doesn't trust him and reveals his secret crush and deep admiration for Daenerys. Theon sneaks into Bran's room and forces him to yield Winterfell to him. Roderick spits on Theon. Dagmar convinces Theon to kill Roderick in front of everyone. Ygritte attacks Jon Snow and is captured. When he can't get himself to kill her, she runs away, but he catches her again. When Joffrey is disrespected by rioters, he orders his men to attack. Sansa gets lost. Tyrion and Joffrey argue and Tyrion slaps him for his stupidity. Sansa is found by Sandor. Jon Snow spoons Ygritte to keep warm. Osha seduces Theon and escapes Winterfell with Bran. Daenerys discovers that her dragons were stolen. Ygritte teases Jon Snow about his balls and being a virgin. She tries seducing him and lures him into a trap where her men come out and capture him. Sansa gets her period for the first time. She tries hiding it, but Sandor finds out and tells Cersei. Jaime escapes by killing a man in his prison, luring a guardian and killing him also. It's revealed Zara and Pyat stole Daenerys' dragons. Zara has teamed up with Pyat from the House of the Undying. He declares himself king of Qarth. They kill everyone in the 13th. Pyat tells Daenerys to meet him at the House of the Undying where he keeps her dragons. Thankfully, Jaime is caught again and Lady Stark has to stop everyone from wanting to kill him. Lady Stark guards Jaime. He presses her buttons, poking at Ned Stark's honor and her hatred for his bastard son Jon Snow. Theon reveals burned bodies that look like the corpses of Bran and his brother. Without Robb Stark's permission, Lady Stark has sent Jaime back to King's Landing to be escorted by Brienne. Robb needs to capture him again. Arya asks Jaqen to kill Tywin, but he refuses because it's too dangerous. In return, he offers to help her escape King's Landing. Robb Stark and Talisa have sex. Arya escapes King's Landing. Bran and his brother are still alive, kept safe in a hiding place by Osha. Pycelle gives Cersei poison as Stannis approaches, hinting she might want to kill herself. Stannis' men play drums as they approach King's Landing. Tyrion sends one ship towards Stannis' boats. Davos is confused. It pours wildfire all around Stannis' boats. Tyrion has Bronn launch one arrow into the ocean and it blows up nearly all of Stannis' ships. Joffrey punks out, leaving Tyrion to lead the battle. The men lose faith. Tyrion gives a speech boosting their confidence. Sansa escapes back into her room but is surprised by Sandor. Oddly, he promises to take her back to Winterfell. Cersei is about to give Pycelle's poison to her son. Tywin walks in declaring victory. Stannis is escorted away. Joffrey is rewarding everyone in his throne. Marjorie claims her love to Joffrey. Out of nowhere, Cersei urges Joffrey to no longer wed Sansa. Joffrey agrees and says he'll marry Marjorie instead. Peter Baelish urges Sansa to leave or else she'll just become Joffrey's mistress. Stannis blames Melisandre for the loss and starts choking her. Melisandre pumps him back up. She says the war has just begun and that he'll eventually become king. Theon gives a crazy speech but is knocked on the head by Dagmar and they go back home. Bran and Osha come out seeing Winterfell in ruins. Master Luwin dies. Arya meets Jack and he morphs into someone else. Daenerys spits fire for the first time, killing Pyke and regains control of her dragons. She forces Xaro to open the locked chambers. He promised would have gold. They find it's empty. She locks him inside the room. They find enough gold to buy a single ship. Daenerys leaves with her dragons. Samwell hides during a blizzard as a zombie on a horse approaches along with hundreds of other zombies behind him, charging towards the wall. People normally don't run faster on foot than cars, especially cars driven by people out to kill you. You don't whistle when you're a psycho killer. Well, on second thought, it's kind of freaky.